everyone, and welcome to another show of Soulfully Guided. I'm your host, Carmel-Anne, and thank you to our producer who's I've entered the show and he's begged me please not to dance, which I don't think anyone wants to see that. So look, today I promised I'd share about a really silly experience I had, and that was my first near-death experience living in the country. So I'll do that. We're also, hang tight, we're not going to go into a caller today. So bear with me while I chat away in this very unprepared, unexpected show. But what I'd like to talk about, I'm not going into a caller today because yesterday I had a booking and I really could not connect with the person. I don't feel it was my intuition and I don't feel it was them at all. I think sometimes we just don't click. So I'm going to give you a few pointers as, you know, a person receiving a reading, what to do in those situations as well, because, you know, your time and your money is very valuable, and so is your reading and the connection we have. So I'm going to give you some pointers to look out for. Now, so today's a huge day. It just sort of crept up on me. My 5-year-old started primary school, so I'm so proud of her. Yeah, our baby's not a baby anymore, but so today's crept up. But a couple of weeks ago, and I've been hesitant to share it publicly because I'm so silly, but so we go on this big girls' day adventure, just my 2 daughters and I, who are, you know, 18 months and 5 years old. And we had a wonderful day. We went to a chocolate factory. We had shots of chocolate. So brace yourself when I say shot, but if you've never had a shot of chocolate, amazing, you've got to try it. So anyway, so we have this spectacular day. We go to a lavender farm. We're out in the, you know, hot springs. And on the way home, Mazda might not know this, but Mazda cars, at the moment, I am at war with Mazda and their GPS system, or any GPS system. So I love you, Google Maps, but where we were had no reception. So we, you know, had a great day. We're on our way home. My daughter and I, my 2 daughters and I, were on our way home. Our GPS takes us down this back road, which ends up being not a connecting road to a track to a back road to another road. It ends up being a 4.7 kilometre deep drive on a dirt track through this forestry with up and curvy and down cliffs and all these sort of mountainy sort of, or well, I don't know, I lost track of my soul, my heartbeat, my time. It was really scary. I've never been 4-wheel driving, right? So I like to believe I can handle a car well. I liked cars when I was younger. So I do this big, like wildly beast squeal for my life. Managed to get some reception about one point K in, call my husband just to lash out at him at why the car is doing this, as some of us like to do. So but then it gets to the point that I was so scared. So I can laugh about it. My neighbours can laugh. They're going to turn me into a country girl. But, you know, it was one of the worst. There's been torrential rains here and floods. So, the holes in the road were just consistently long, like the depth of the length of the track, and they were wider than the tires of the car. So it was full on, wheels screeching to get up, or, you know, I went slow and steady. On the last 1.7 Ks, I rang the police. I rang our emergency services. Unfortunately, we hadn't hurt ourselves yet, so they couldn't help us or save us from, I wasn't able to go through. So I just imagine, oh my God, we're going to be stuck here. There's no internet. They've said to just call someone else. So I thought, we're going to be stuck here in the middle of nowhere at night. And I just had, it was a very scary experience at the time. If you're laughing, don't feel so bad. It is quite funny. And if you're sympathizing with me, yes, I understand that too. But so My husband takes, I actually messaged our coordinates to my husband, because at one stage the track that the GPS system had led us on, it actually went off track, off grid even there. So I just thought, oh my God, we're stuck in some Australian, our forest, no one's going to find us, or the car's going to, we're going to lose control of the car. So it was pretty scary. And then in the end, like, I was only, unbeknown to me, because I was freaking out, I was 3 minutes away from this 4.7 kilometre track in Shepherd's Flat. And I send my coordinates to my husband, and I said, while we've got reception, I can't look at the internet, so I can't see where we are, where we're going. I can only see what's off grid on this map. These are my coordinates. So I sent him my longitudinal and latitudinal location, and I said, call for help if I don't message you or call you within 30 minutes. So I got quite serious. I've never done that in my life. I felt kind of, I've never needed those coordinates in my life, but I felt kind of resourceful. And when I got out of that moment, and that moment was like that we saw a gravel road, like a paved road. This might sound extreme to some four-wheel drive enthusiast, or some, people that love, great fun activities like that. Not me. So I felt like I was the last survivor on a horror scene. When they come out battered and bruised, they can barely take another step. They can barely even breathe, but they've survived this whole experience. And that's how I felt driving out of that forest onto, finally getting to the highway. So that is my story. And you're probably thinking, why didn't you just turn around? Well, because by the time I realized where we were, I didn't reverse it. It just happened. Like, I just couldn't reverse. I couldn't do a U-turn. And so I used my intuition that yes, it said we were going to be okay and we were going to get out, but there was a moment that my body really shut down, and I thought, when I saw this I just thought, nah, it's going right up and around. But we made it, and we made it home safe. I had to talk myself, calm myself down, like talking to myself for about half an hour while I was unpacking the car. But that's my near-death experience. So I am very clumsy like that. I should be used to situations like that. But that was my most fearful experience so far, living in the country, 6 months into living in the country. So sadly, I can't say I had some, amazing contact with a snake, or like a deadly snake, or some amazing wildlife in Australia. But that was my story, and I thought I'd share it and make a joke, have a bit of entertainment purposes, unless you're a bit worried like it's happened to you. So, that's my story anyway. So you can have a laugh at my expense. And it was a week after it happened, my husband told me that it was one of the worst the tracks to go down. But I also wanted to spend some time. So yesterday I did a reading, and I really couldn't connect with the person. So I want you to know, I don't feel my intuition is off. Sometimes there's just not a connection there. It's hard to connect, like a psychologist or a counselor, like any practitioner or a GP. Not every tarot reader or psychic or medium or any spiritual service, not everyone is going to be a good fit for everyone. So you don't have to feel bad if there is no connection, or the reading is feeling very off and it's not talking about the future. It is important to speak up and let them know, I'd say as early as possible. Ways to avoid booking readers with, if you're not feeling that vibe with them. Sometimes it just happens, like, the person I had that made the booking was a very good person. They were lovely and they were kind. I would recommend reading through a reader's website, having a feel of them, watching some videos of them, like if they do a radio show like this, checking out how they read, just exploring their identity and their skills before booking. And that'll really help you determine what's a good fit and a reader for you. I personally have a code of ethics on my website, what I am and am not comfortable to do in a reading. And also, if you have a chat with someone and they're not a good fit for you, you don't have to proceed with booking. There's no obligation there. Obviously, you're not going to ask them 20 questions or anything like that before booking, but please know that you are very safe with a genuine reader, and you can say no to booking with them if you don't feel they're a good fit for you or can't give you the type of reading that you want. So please check out people's websites, do a little bit of research and see how they fit with you and their energy as a reader before booking with them. And that'll prevent any sort of situations where it's a sort of an off feeling, or, you just might not be right for each other. I would also say let them know up front and find out their refund policy to, if someone can't read for you as a once off, or, you have to know your options as well, whether you can refund. So they are some tips. Thank you for listening to me, and I'll be back into readings next week, and with some, hopefully not another near-death experience. Let's hope not. So thanks everyone for tuning in. I've had a great week. Thank you. We'll see you next week.